Have you ever been to an open house or been shown a house and you blurt something out and realize maybe I shouldn't have done that or said that? That's what we're talking about right now. 7 things you shouldn't say when you're at a listing. My name is Vito Scarnecchia with the Abitano Group here in Silicon Valley. Today we're talking about things you shouldn't say when looking at homes. Chances are, if you're looking at homes, there's certain things that really won't match your style or what you like or don't like, and certain people say stuff at open houses. And I made a list a while ago and I thought I'd share them with you to have a little bit of fun. I know you get emotionally attached to certain things when you're looking at homes, get into shopping mode, and it's very common for you to say, I like that, I don't like that. You may want to say that might affect or offend. First one is actually a positive note, something where you say, oh, this is my dream house. This is such an amazing house. I have to have this. Honey, you need to buy this house for me. In poker, that's called laying down and giving away your cards or giving you a tell. So if the listing agent or the sellers happen to hear that, they know, oh, we got one on the hook and we're going to reel this one in. And we can play some games with this one to see how much more we can ask or how many different contingencies that we can ask them to remove. In the heat of negotiating, it's better to keep all your cards close to your chest and not blurt things out. I can afford to spend X. So let's say you're looking at $1 million house, which is easy numbers, right? And you think that this house can really go for 1.1 or 1.2. And you're saying to the agent, oh, I can afford 1.25 or 1.3, well, they're going to do their best to get you all the way up there. Again, you're laying down the cards and showing your hand and saying, this is what I have to offer. When you're talking to a listing agent, their job is to get the best deal for the seller, not necessarily you, the buyer. I can't wait to get rid of that. And for an example, when I bought this house 20 years ago, it was in original condition. It was built in 1968. It had panel, it had single pane windows, it had the original kitchen, it had the original bathrooms, it had everything. If you see some really ugly paneling or some doors that you really don't like, or maybe a kitchen that's outdated, maybe they like that kitchen. And if they hear you saying, I love it, or I hate this kitchen, or I hate that wall, I hate the paneling, that might offend them. So just be careful of that. Make sure you stay till the end because I have a bonus tip for you. Make sure you stay to the end. Why are you selling? Or why are the sellers selling their house? That could be a personal reason, right? It could be a divorce. It could have been a death in the family. It could have been an emotional thing for them, so they don't really want to let that be known. I completely understand and sympathize with the sellers. Quite frankly, it's not relevant to you as a buyer why they're selling. What's it really like to live here? And this is more like a neighborhood question, right? If you're walking down the street and you happen to see the neighbors out there mowing the lawn, you might not want to stop them on a hot day and say, hey, is this a good neighborhood to live in? Is there a lot of crime in this neighborhood? You can do that due diligence and that research on yourself, or your agent can show you how to find that information out. There's a lot of things we can and can't tell you, mostly because there's certain laws about steering and red line and all this other stuff. You're very welcome to talk to neighbors, but don't bug them to the point that they're annoyed. What you're telling the seller and the listing agent is you've overpriced that house and you don't know what you're doing. When in fact, a listing agent typically knows what they're doing. And they're not going to totally overprice the house unless they're desperate and the seller's being unreasonable. But let time tell that. I'll give you X. What do you think? Huh? Yeah, let's do it right now. Come on, I'll buy you. So let's say that the house is $2 million and you come up to the listing agent and go, whether you're working with a listing agent or the buyer's agent, your buyer's agent, their job is to make sure you get the house. But when it's brand new on the market, a lowball offer will oftentimes be ignored. So the bonus tip isn't something you say rather than something you might do. All right, so that was it. You had 8 tips. Now we're going to talk about the bonus. And this one isn't something you might say to offend somebody, but you might be careful to not do this. And that is parking your car in the driveway. There's a lot of reasons why you don't want to do that, especially at an open house where it might be super busy and then you have 5 cars parked there and then you're ready to leave. Well, then you're stuck. And it's not the job of the host of the open house to ask people to move their car. So just as a common practice and common courtesy to the seller and other people that are looking at the home, don't park in the driveway. Well, that's your 8 things not to say when buying a house. I hope it's been helpful. I'm Vito Scarnecchia with the Abitano Group, and we'll see you out there.